Welcome to the Stranger Than Fiction podcast. I'm Chase.
And I'm Adam. On this episode, we are wrapping up our Halloween-themed episodes with one of the biggest favorites in today's society, vampires. So, vampires are a mainstay for Halloween, but nowadays they can be heard about pretty much all throughout the year in all kinds of movies and TV shows. But, how and why did it get this way? Where did this all start? And why are so many people into them? Or, to use the word of the last episode, creeped out by them.
Creepy.
That's what we're talking about on this one. But I guess before we get into it, Chase, do you want to just describe for all of our listeners what you are wearing right now?
Well, I figured since this was our last Halloween episode that I would get into the spirit of Halloween. I have a very warm... sweaty. My brother referred to it as a Mick Foley costume, which is not the case. It is a werewolf costume, but I can see how the Mick Foley vibe is coming out. But it's probably only going to be through about a quarter of the episode, and then I'm going to have to ditch it because it's making me pretty sweaty.
I mean, I think you look like Bigfoot wearing a flannel shirt. But
yeah, I think that's the goal, and I got blue Paul Bunyan pants on. It's a onesie that came with whatever. But, yeah, happy Halloween to everybody who's listening. And to you, Adam.
You as well. But, all right, so we're getting a little sidetracked. So let's start with something easy relative to this topic. So what is a vampire?
Well, I think there's several versions of a vampire. I think there's the movie version of the vampire, Nosferatu, Dracula, all of those. Well, the literary Draculas, the literary Nosferatus, literary vampires. And then there are the actual creepy fucking people out there. And I'll use creepy again.
Creepy count.
But, yeah. Tally it. They're the people that think they're actual vampires or that exist in this world as well. But I think the movie ones are the most referenced, the most famous ones.
Yeah, so I mean, at a real basic level, a vampire is generally considered to be a creature or a being that sustains itself by feeding on the vital force, usually blood, of the living. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
what they all do.
That's a real basic definition. And really, there's actually 4 types of vampires. Did you know this? 4?
I didn't know there was such a granular, categorical vampire directory.
Well, actually, before we talk about 4 types, do you think vampires are real?
No. This is another one where I don't think that we're talking about something that is real. I mean, I think
we are talking about something that's real for sure.
I don't think so. Well,
vampires,
see this.
Vampires are real.
This is
okay. No, this
one
is
of those anomalous episodes.
No, this is definitive, man. Definitive.
Okay. All right. Well, I would love to hear why it is so definitive.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you. So there's 4 types of vampires. Now, I'm not saying that all 4 I believe are real. However, there are 4 types of vampires. At least one of them I think is very clearly real. So the first type of vampire is known as the mortal blood drinkers. So basically, this is anyone who likes to drink blood for any reason.
Yeah. But well, by that definition of a vampire, then there's probably real vampires because
convinced. You're convinced.
But I don't think those are vampires. I think those are fucked up people that drink blood.
I'm not disputing that fact. However, that's one, a mortal blood drinker.
I guess I should have clarified your definition of a vampire first before I disagreed with you.
So yeah, basically anyone who drinks blood for whatever reason, whether they're crazy, kill someone, drink the blood of your enemy type of stuff. There's a lot of reasons why someone could want to drink blood. We'll talk a little bit more about it at some point. Okay. But the second type is the sexy vampire like Underworld.
Buffy.
No, I'm just kidding.
She's a vampire slayer. I guess.
I'm just kidding though. That's not the second type.
Oh, okay.
The second type, do you like Underworld?
I don't know what that is.
You don't like? Okay.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know what that is.
The second type is the immortal blood drinkers.
Okay,
this is the most common one. Yeah, most common in popular culture.
Drinking blood to stay young.
Correct, right. So this is the most prevalent one in today's, popular culture.
Yeah.
The beings that are drinking blood, they're immortal, they have, typically powers and whatnot. Most commonly known type of vampire.
Yeah, but not the least likely to be real vampire.
You haven't heard the other two yet, but
okay, continue.
I would agree with you. It's less likely than the mortal blood drinkers, which are most assuredly real.
Yeah.
The number 3 type is the unintentional psychic vampires.
I don't even know what that even would even mean.
So these vampires feed loosely on the psychic energy of others unconsciously, usually as a way to survive some type of illness or whatever. But basically they are feeding on people's psychic energy or emotion.
So would this be considered like a soul-sucking vampire, or is that a different vampire? Would that be considered sucking your soul?
Not necessarily your soul, no.
Okay.
Your
Just
psychic
your
energy or your emotion.
Got it.
Like, there's always that person at work or whatever that's like they just suck the fun out of everything, or once you're around them for a while, you want to kill something because they're so depressing.
I'm pretty sure I'm that guy. Also, toasters do that too, where if you leave them plugged in too long, they vampire your energy, and they are using energy as you keep them plugged in. So
true. Cell
same
phone
concept,
chargers,
sucking your energy. Yeah.
The fourth type of vampire is the intentional psychic vampires. So these ones are similar. They're feeding on your psychic energy or your emotion, but they're doing it on purpose. They know that they're doing it. They're doing it to survive.
Where did you find these at? This seems like a weird.
No,
who's categorizing this?
This is common knowledge.
Common vampire knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't have this knowledge, so my apologies. These are weird categories.
That's why it goes back to the basic definition of vampire, where it's sustaining itself on vital force. It doesn't always have to be blood. Your psychic energy, your emotion. Watch out.
All right. So it not necessarily the fanged Nosferatu or Dracula type vampires, but also the type that can just sort of. Like I equate that. So would coneheads be? Because you remember coneheads?
Yeah, of course.
Where they touch their cones together, and they have sex with each other or something.
Or they put the rings on their cones.
Yeah, exactly. Are they vampires?
I guess maybe if you're saying they're sucking the psychic energy out of them.
Okay, I think that's the sweat talking. So,
but I'll explain a little bit later how this psychic feeding happens, because I'm sure you're very interested.
Ooh.
But
do you do it? Are you a psychic feeder? Okay.
Well, I could be an unintentional psychic vampire. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. I know a lot of those people.
I mean, you already said you were, because you're the guy in the room that sucks the fun out of everything. You said.
I am just the guy that just says, "Look at me. Look how I'm dressed. I'm definitely the guy that sucks the energy out of the room."
But there's 4 types of vampires. We'll probably be talking most about the blood drinking variety, I would assume, on this episode. But I wanted to make it clear there's 4 types.
So let me ask you this. So the ancient Greeks believed that redheads, or gingers as they called them, turned into vampires when they died. What category do gingers fall into when they die?
Well, are they drinking blood?
Oh, I guess that's a fair question. I think that's the differential, I guess, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I need to do some more research on what the ancient Greeks thought that gingers. I don't know what type of vampire they turned into.
It's funny you bring up the ancient Greeks. So the next topic I was going to get into was, where did the idea of vampires come from? Ancient Greeks happen to be one of those potential sources.
Yeah, and I don't know, outside of my ancient Greek and vampire knowledge is limited, but I know that one of their theories was that redheads, when they die, become vampires.
Well, maybe it stems from this, although I don't have any redheaded things in my story here. But
all right, go for
basically, in Greek mythology, there was this young man named Ambrosio. Do you know anything about Ambrosio?
I feel like that sounds sexy. I feel like I've heard that term before.
I mean, he is pretty sexy. Look at this picture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He kind of looks like Go ahead. No, continue. Keep going.
So Ambrosio was in love with a girl or woman named Selena. Okay. And so
yes.
he fell in love with Selena after visiting an oracle in the temple of Apollo.
Okay.
Apollo is obviously the sun god.
Yep.
He asked her to marry him, as you do when you immediately fall in love with someone, right?
As one does, yes.
However, he did not know that Apollo wanted Selena for his own. Okay. Love triangle.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Apollo cursed Ambrosio by causing his skin to burn whenever it was exposed to sunlight.
Interesting.
Okay. So he was very desperate to get out of the situation, to get Selena back. So he turned to Hades, right? The god of the underworld.
Okay.
Okay, you remember him?
Yeah.
Bad Mamma Jamma.
Bad Leroy Brown.
And then he also got some help from Artemis, who was the goddess of the hunt.
Yep.
And basically, Ambrosio stole Artemis's silver bow to close out this deal that he made with Hades. And Artemis got pissed off, cursed Ambrosio, so silver would burn his skin because the bow that he stole was silver. But later, she took pity on him, gave him strength, immortality, and fangs to kill beasts, to use their blood to write love poems to Selena.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay. Yep. Eventually, Selena escapes Apollo's grasp, reunites with Ambrosio, who's now immortal, and they want to be together forever. Artemis says, "Hey, Ambrosio, you want to be together forever? Let her drink your blood." She does. And now they both are the first vampires according to Greek mythology. And anyone who drinks their blood becomes a vampire.
I feel like that is like the totality of every that's it. I mean, right? I mean, honestly, like we're only missing the god of garlic in there, right? Like, where does he come into? Is he like does
That's
he turn
true.
the love triangle into a square?
There was no
and
garlic in that story. You're right.
You can't. Yeah. So I mean, that's the only part of the story that like adds throughout history. But everything else is exactly what you think of your stereotypical like vampire, right? The lack of sunlight.
So you think the Greeks got it right?
Judging off of your story, it sounds like that's exactly where it started. I have no idea, but that sounds like every movie or every book or every folklore story that comes about has an element of that story. At least that's the most like total story of vampires.
Well, you haven't heard the second story.
Okay, sorry, Jesus, you just keep leading me on.
The
Continue.
second story is of ancient Hebrew origin.
Okay, but the Greeks have set the bar.
So the Hebrews had this woman named Lilith. Okay, she appears in many early Hebraic writings and stories. So Lilith is a winged demon. Okay. She has the body of a woman, and she has owl-like talons for feet. Okay.
Nom. Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going.
Exactly. She was so fine, so sexy.
Half staff
she
right now.
is believed to have been the first wife of Adam. Not me.
You?
Not me, no.
Okay.
The first man, Adam.
Got it.
Because they were made at the same time. Unlike Eve, who obviously was made after Adam.
Lilith was the first female?
Yep.
Well, the first person with owl talons.
Yeah. Hybrid. She's a hybrid.
Yeah.
So she refused to be submissive and subservient to Adam because she believed that she was his equal. Okay. And consequently, she was banished by God and sent to the demon realm.
All right. Where's that at?
It's probably hanging out with Hades down there.
Okay. Got it.
So the story goes that from there, when she's in the demon realm, she stole babies and devoured them.
Oh.
Okay.
That'll put a damper on things.
Where did the babies come from in the demon realm? As a side note,
I feel like demons start off as babies. So, I mean, babies need to grow, or demons need to grow too, right? So
you're saying she stole the demon babies? Okay.
Yeah.
So then she would devour the babies, and then she would seduce men, steal their sperm, kill the men, use the sperm to make her own children.
Yeah.
She also would drink the blood of these guys.
All right.
So don't fall for Lilith.
Yeah. Why doesn't she just keep the babies that she